All right, let's get through a couple other games here and maybe recall some picks that we made in this one. Orlando Pride versus Racing Louisville. Winner, winner for the Pride. That's called a streak. A 1-0 win against Racing Louisville. That's Orlando's second win now
Yeah.
in this season. Racing Louisville, still some question marks going on around this one, but no question about the picks here. Lisa, you went with the Pride in this one. I had this one as a draw. Racing Louisville just couldn't come through for me. What's up with that? But let's talk about the winners of the Purple Super Bowl here. It's going to the Pride.
Yeah.
Messiah Bright. We were just talking about Olivia Wingate, and now we get to talk about another rookie delivering some good performances for her team in a debut year. The rookie doing a lot of good stuff, both on and off the ball, rewarded with the game winning goal in this one.
Mhm.
Love to see it.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from Messiah Bright. This player, as a rookie in this league and on a team that occupied the bottom of the table for a long time in these first 6 weeks, still was able to implement her own game and find her own style in the NWSL, because now Orlando at 10th in the standings, and we'll get to standings at the end of the episode, but I want to look at Messiah Bright a little bit in depth here, because if anyone hasn't had a chance to watch her yet, the rookie forward for Orlando Pride, she's got a lot of skill. She has a lot of skill, and Seb Hines and Orlando are finding her in the right positions to capitalize on that skill and really have her lean into what she is so good at doing. And the best part is she's good at a variety of different things. And she's a bigger player. She's tall, she's got great stature, and she's strong. So we see her a lot of times for Orlando dropping back into the midfield, bodying up against defenders. And she did this so well in this match against Racing Louisville, receiving the ball at Bright's feet, playing it back into the midfield, spinning out, but doing a really good job of holding up the play. She's not just a back shoulder forward, meaning she just sits on the back line of the opposition and looks to get in behind. She can check into the midfield and body up. However, she can also sit on the back line. She's got great pace. And if you feed her a through ball, she's going to get on the end of it, body off the defenders. That's the thing. She's got this great mix of power, physical built, but also pace on her, just physically looking at her, right? And that's the fact that a lot of players have that, but the fact that she's able to utilize them in the right times during games is something that we don't usually see from rookies in this league, because it is such a physical league in the NWSL. Messiah Bright has leaned into that. So she gets this opening goal for Orlando in the 21st minute. It's a beautiful header goal. She rises above, redirects it on goal. It comes off a set piece, a corner kick for Orlando that gets half cleared by Racing Louisville. Strom sends it back in, and Messiah Bright puts it on goal. Tough for Katie Lund, the Racing Louisville goalkeeper. I think she thinks she should have had that one, but Orlando did a great job with the high press, and that also stems from a player like Messiah Bright in the front line, who's putting the pressure on, doing off-ball work, and trying to win the ball back for the Pride.
Yeah, I think we're looking at Orlando Pride on the second consecutive win here, and again, you look for those little things to kind of build upon, and having 2 wins in a row is the big part of that thing. But the smaller, more intricate side of things are these kind of individual performances that you're looking at when you're putting together these starting 11s, right? Seb Hines, first year as actual head coach, not interim anymore, and getting a chance to build with this team as well over the course of a full regular season. We've seen some rotation at the goalkeeping position. They want to try to make sure they have the right answers there, but they've also like reintegrated players who have, worked their way back into form a little bit, kind of off of these extended injuries. We're looking at Martha getting some really good looks on goal in this game, whether it was from set pieces or directly in the run of play. Viviana Villacorta, again, another player that we're excited to see back in the mix for the Pride, has really come off, I think, of a couple now really strong performances in the midfield alongside Clough with this Orlando Pride team. So good things here. And I think when we're looking at this game, I think maybe there might be folks who are also like, yeah, well, you've got 2 bottom table teams going against each other, so maybe it's just a matter of those two types of teams going at it and kind of trying to desperately put together a performance to get the points. And you know what? That's also fine because Orlando Pride is stealing all three of those. And I think when you're looking at the Racing Louisville side of things, I mean, obviously there's going to be disappointment in the fact that you dropped the points and you dropped the game, but especially in the sense where it was mostly even. I think when you're looking in terms of the numbers in their head to head, with the total shots 16-17 in favor of Louisville, even on attempts on target with 7 between these two sides. So just looking at those kind of things, even with possession, just not super significant one way or the other. So I think if you're Louisville, you're just like, well, maybe this was a missed opportunity here for sure.
Yeah, and no Savannah DeMello. I think that really played a factor into the midfield for Racing Louisville. It's sometimes you don't know how much a player is actually keeping the glue together and the wheels on the wagon until they're not there anymore. And I think that's maybe what Louisville saw this weekend, because they didn't have Savannah DeMello coming off 2 yellows and a red in week 5 game for Louisville, so not available. And I think that really hurt them. They could not connect in the midfield. They couldn't string passes together despite having really good players. I think Wong had a great game. Wong Swang had a really good game for Racing Louisville, but perhaps it would have been a different matchup. I'm excited for the second matchup between these two teams when DeMello is there, when Orlando continues this streaking run that they're going on.
Yeah, no, we'll see what these two teams sort of build upon out of this game going into their week 7 fixtures. But it bumps up Orlando to 10th, slots down Louisville to 11th. Again, people are looking at that and it's kind of like, we'll see where these two go from here. But there's a new number 1. Let's talk about it. OL Reign versus Houston Dash. Winners 2-0 in this one against the Dash, and also that means they jump up to number 1 with Portland Thorns and their draw. It gave a little bit of cushion, it gave a little bit of opportunity, and OL Reign went ahead and took advantage of that. And this one, I was looking for a response from the Dash. I've had them picked in our preview. You went Reign in this one, I believe. And they delivered on that. Jordyn Huitema, pretty relentless engine here, had a really good opportunity. Really cool looking goal in the early phase of the first half. Ruled off because VAR said that there was enough there with a handball. And unfortunately, we were all denied that. Not just Jordyn Huitema in this one. But talk about having a short memory. You got to leave that behind you. And eventually this one ends out 2-0 with Huitema getting on the board as well.
Yeah, I think that this game was it was very entertaining. I'm going to correct myself. I actually had this one pegged as a draw heading into OL Reign in this game. I'm just trying to keep it honest here at Attacking Third. But yeah, this opening goal coming not until the second half, but a lot of really good options and opportunities, especially from Huitema in the first half. Opening 13 minutes, as you just said, it's called back. A lot of people upset. Laura Harvey looked pretty upset about that one and didn't think it was going to be that type of call. But ultimately, as this game continued to develop and OL Reign really grew into the game, second half, 53rd minute, Megan Rapinoe and Jess Fishlock were giddy playing. I'm gonna say they just looked like they were having a blast. Just having a blast. And I think we saw that a lot from OL Reign towards the end of last year. And we're already seeing it 6 weeks into this year. I think it's going to be a really good year for OL Reign because Fishlock and Rapinoe having so much fun. They're dancing on the sidelines. They're baiting and switching with the defenders, drawing them in, pulling them out. And that's how OL Reign gets their opening goal. Rapinoe from the left side, she curls the ball in with her right foot, finds Veronica Latsko in the 53rd minute. But Balser, Huitema, Latsko, they were all in the mix, ready for this ball to come. But it lands to Latsko, who capitalizes on it and gets the opening goal. And then just over 15 minutes later, about Jordyn Huitema gets her goal finally, because there's a moment in there where she gets a diving header. It goes off the post. She had the first goal called back in the opening 13 minutes. Jordyn Huitema knocking on the door, pounding on the door, and ultimately the door falls down in the 68th minute, and Jordyn Huitema gets the second for OL Reign in this 2-0 win over the Dash.
Veronica Latsko. I mean, I think just another example for OL Reign when we're looking at this team and the depth that Laura Harvey has at her disposal. I think again we're talking about dartboard games. This is a game that you look at maybe as the regular season is rearing its end, and you say games that the bench essentially came out here and won. Veronica Latsko having this type of performance where she absolutely puts her stamp on a game and the team comes out with all 3 points. This is going to be one of those games. So while Latsko might not be this player that typically finds herself in a starting role with the Reign, did in this match and then delivered. I think when we're looking at the other side of this one, we got to chat a little bit about Houston Dash. They've absolutely cooled off as they have gone through that first quarter of the season and now go looking ahead into this second quarter of the season and the stretch in front of them. Not out to that hot start that we initially saw. I think we saw some promising things. I liked some of the good link up that we saw with Maria Sanchez. I think there was a good sequence there where she eventually outworked Huerta and then was able to feed the ball back into Salmon, but unfortunately the shot just wasn't exactly on target. So a couple good moments, but I think this was the game that I was looking for in terms of making the pick with the Dash. I wanted to see the response. I think I wanted to see, that head coaching battle a little bit. The Laura Harvey coaching tree consists of Sam Lady now, who's in, they branched out into Houston Dash. So I'm unclear. I think if it's, maybe the Dash and Sam Lady is trying to have the Dash too much, or they're still about trying to figure out and get that chemistry established between them. But there looks like there's a little bit of a disconnect at times. So while there maybe are some good, 10, 15-minute stretches for the team, other times they sometimes struggle to kind of like retain, that tempo. So just couldn't really find one in the back of the net in this one. And maybe sometimes that helps change some things. But I think they want to maybe try something else out and try to stick with that moving forward. I think what we're looking at now are teams who have like presented their identities moving forward and like bought into what they are going to present moving forward. And then there are some teams who have still tried to try some things out and really haven't quite nailed that down. And it's looking like the Dash are kind of falling in that category a little bit right now. So this result kind of pushes them out of that upper half of the table, whereas with Old Rain, it propels them to the top.